प्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षु श्रोत्रमथो बलमेन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरते य उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, the mind, all the sensory and motor organs and the life force become powerful and efficient. All is verily the one without second, ever blissful, ever perfect, conscious existence itself, the Brahman. May I never deny this truth of Brahman. May the Brahman never reject me either. I am aware that the experience of this truth requires cultivation of certain virtues spoken of by the scriptures. May all those virtues be with me. Om, peace, peace, peace. Let us try to understand and feel the oneness that this verse was talking about. Let us use an analogy. I close my eyes and imagine a huge heap of ice cubes. I am one of those ice cubes. I see the thousands of other ice cubes around me. I feel I am separate from them. I have a particular size and shape. I identify with that. feel proud about it. I form relationships with many other ice cubes. Think of some as my parents, some others as my siblings, many others as friends and colleagues. Many as my competitors and enemies, and lots of others unrelated. I feel this multiplicity to be real. But in the warm weather, the heap of ice cubes is melting. I realize that my shape that I was so proud about is undergoing change. So also is the case with all other ice cubes. I see we are all melting. I see the unity, the oneness, as I melt completely in the water. All sense of differentiation dissolves. All ego is gone. I know I am the one homogeneous existence itself. I am peace itself. I am bliss itself. Om. Peace, peace, peace. So friends, today we are beginning the 179th class on this wonderful scripture, Srimad Bhagavatam, a very well-known scripture of Vedanta. Let us begin with the recital of the opening chant, which forms actually the first verse of this scripture. Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditaratashjartheshvabhinyaswarat tene brahmahridaya adikavaye muhyanti yatsurayah tejo varimridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha dhamna svena sada nirastakuhakam satyam param dhimahi. That from whom creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe take place, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent entity, who illumined the mind of Brahma with the Vedic revelation, whose wisdom is the wonder of even the greatest sages, in whom the world of the three gunas subsists, just as the combination of materials like fire, water and earth subsist in their causes without changing their elemental nature, in whose consciousness there is nothing false. On that truth supreme we meditate. Let us spend a few minutes in understanding the place of this scripture in the whole Hindu or Vedantic scriptural arrangements. The one layer or the topmost layer of the scriptures is the philosophical text, impersonal and completely the universal and scientific in nature. They are called Upanishads or Shruti. Then, because the philosophy is difficult for people to appreciate, understand, grasp, but yet want to lead religious life. They want to use the content of the scriptures, even though they don't understand how these details are or the philosophy behind it. Just as millions and millions of people use cars, who knows how the car is made? We are not aware of all the engineering technology that goes in building the car. Even how the car is painted is not known by most people. So, but yet, does it stop us from using the car? We still use the car. So similarly, without understanding the philosophy, we can use the conclusions of that philosophy to enrich our life, just as we use the car without knowing how the car is made. So these scriptures are called smritis. They are like the codes. They like a manual of a car gives you how to maintain it, when to change the oil and all that stuff. So these scriptures are called smritis. Then there is another set of scriptures to which this one belongs. That is to elucidate the great philosophical ideas through lucid stories. The stories attract people's mind and people read a lot. Mm. Long ago, my English knowledge was very low. Like, I didn't have good expertise in English language. Somehow I was able to carry a few conversations, and that was in my high school days. And I used to study the grammar and such things. One senior person suggested, the grammar is boring. You don't won't like to keep on studying grammar. Uh, so you read the great literary works of English language, especially the story books. Because you will feel more interest in reading those. So I started reading those books, and gradually, because of the story nature of those, it egged me reading into that, reading more and more. Gradually, I understood the grammar as well. So that is how, through stories, the truths are elucidated and told so that they can appeal to common people. That is why the great sages and such religious people, they told truths through stories. Jesus said that he teaches in parables. And well known are thousands of parables of Buddha. Even Sri Ramakrishna taught in so many very nice stories. There are famous Zen stories and Tao stories, so that they illustrate the truth and makes those truths meaningful, understandable, appealing to us. So this is that scripture called Srimad Bhagavatam. This set of these scriptures is called Puranas. And this one is called Bhagavata Mahapurana. Mahapurana means the great Purana, because of its extent, because of also the tremendous importance of it in understanding and implementing the main principles of Vedanta. This book is very, very dear to all students of Vedantic literature. It is even the great Upanishadic scholars, and they speak about Bhagavatam with tears in their eyes and so much of feeling, because the intellectual understanding is only one aspect of human life. We need to guide our feelings, because rarely anybody lives the life intellectually. We think rationally. Yes, that is a very nice conclusion of the great psychologist Steven Pinker, that we think rationally but act irrationally. Because our action, the more that is controlled more by emotions, likes and dislikes, there is no rhyme and reason behind it. It is uh, one a very nice writer, she sent a blog a couple of days ago and was saying that art is irrational. I suggested to her change the word irrational to transrational. It is because rationality has limitations, but art transcends that. Art has the capability of going beyond what reason cannot see. In Hindi there is a very nice saying, Jo na dekhe Ravi, so dekhe Kavi. Kavi means a poet. A poet can see that which is not illumined by sunlight. It is what is illumined by sunlight, ordinary eyes can see. But a poet's eyes, an artist's vision is very different. So that is why this scripture, which more not that it ditches rationality, but supplements it by bringing the devotional element to it. So that is how we are seeing here both these things without conflict. And the reason is not in conflict with devotion. In fact, one very important aspect of streamlining our life and making it go smoothly is to harmonize these two important faculties in our life, reason and emotions. Feelings. Feelings and rationality both must go hand in hand. Then only we can progress. It is like you have a bicycle. Ivana, you come on bicycle, isn't it? Now has two wheels. If two are going in two different directions, what will happen? You will not be able to go anywhere. So it is like that. Our reason is one wheel, feelings is another wheel. Both have to go in sync. So that this scripture very beautifully narrates that what we were seeing in for past some uh, classes, that arrangements of society, because we live in society. Human beings are as kind of social animals, we are social animals. We have civilizations, we live in groups, we connect with each other. Even when the social media that we know today was not there, still people used to communicate, connect with each other, form societies, and it was thus, you see, the human society is there. And when we are living together, the goal of human life and the goal of the society, that should not be in conflict with each other. Like suppose Ashutosh is going in the train. Imagine. So the train is going, say, towards New York. Now in the train, even if he walks in the direction of Providence, he will not reach Providence, he will have to reach New York. So this society has a direction. And individual direction of life should be harmonious with that. There are, lots of theories about the individualities, that in extreme individualist, and then they feel every individual must have the right to do whatever he or she thinks right. Now comes the question, what about other people if their lives are impacted by the actions of this person? Then what? So, therefore, there is a socio-political system that gets presented. Now, this social political system, socio-political system, normally speaking, has only the economic or such well-being in mind. That okay, let us see that everybody has very good roads to drive on. Not that our Providence is very good about that. There was one of our members noticed one car was driving, and on the bumper sticker it was written, not drunk, just trying to avoid the potholes. So it is. Uh, so that is the priorities of the common structure of society. Uh, that let there be good roads, let there be food for everybody, let there be, the ways of amusement and keeping people in general happy. So, but the social structure that is imagined and given by the sages is very different. Not that these points are neglected, but much more is done. That what is the goal of human life? That is thought of. The goal of human life is realization of the supreme truth. That is the whole idea in the scripture. The truth supreme that we meditate. This experiencing this truth supreme is the goal of everyone. And as we had discussed earlier, may not be in this class, I don't remember exactly, but this goal of realizing supreme truth or realizing God, in common term, that is God. God is truth, truth is God. So that is the goal of all. Uh, One may say, for example, Paul sitting there would say, no, Swami, my goal is different from that. No, your goal is also same, whether you agree or not. Uh, it is an objectively determined goal, not whimsically, not personal ideas about it. And this goal is the goal of all. Please, friends, listen carefully. Why it is goal of all? Because unless one experiences this, one will not be able to be satisfied in life. That question will always remain, what next? Okay, my goal is to get a straight A plus in all exams. Suppose you got it. Now the question is, what next? You may have the goal, let me become the richest person in the world. Suppose you became, and next day you may not be richest. And even if you remain the richest person, then next, what shall I do with the money now? That becomes the next question. So the dissatisfaction continues when you realize this truth, that you are this one existence. There is no multiplicity, like what we were meditating, the multiplicity of the ice cubes. When that ice cube finds that no, there is no uh, individuality in that, you are really one, the whole existence. And then there is nothing more left to be achieved. You become happiness itself. So, this is therefore the goal, and not told by somebody, not imposed by somebody, but the very nature of this goal is that. that where you will not have any further desire left in you. So, and that is only this stage where the I dissolves in the total universality. That is the actual true goal of everyone. And then this society has to be built on this principle. Now, society means it has various temperaments. All people are like all ice cubes, actually same in its substance, but they have different shapes, different angularities. So, like all people, they are all different. They have one person has one kind of abilities, likings, temperament. The minds are if different, bodies are of course different, we know, but minds are far more different. Mm. And so all of them have this actually the same ultimate goal, and we all are part of the same society. Some of these things are non-negotiable. Means they are to be accepted, that we are parts of the same one social fabric. We form the threads of this huge social fabric, and each thread is somehow directly or indirectly connected to all other threads. And so, uh, we have to see that everybody should be provided a channel, a way to guide their life, so that ultimately everyone will reach the same one without second goal. That is the truth. So, this is how the social structure has to be made. And this idea that we had been seeing, Varna and Ashrama, is that kind of a social system. And we are today going to discuss the last part of this ashrama dharma, where people at different age groups, because all as you grow, your ideas change. They must change, because life is for learning, and as you learn, your outlook changes. One very nice devotee, she uh, was she emailed me something today about, and then also uh, that copied that what I had told her in reply to her email in 2005, 2000, almost 20 years ago. And then she says, look, how much change has happened. How stupid I was then. How stupid I was then. Now here everybody is pretty, grown up. You are not little children. But think when you were say 4 5 years old or 10 years old, how your ideas were, what were your likings. They evolved over the years. They changed. So that is a way of dividing human society, what is called ashramas. That at every stage there is this stage of, say, childhood or youth. In that period, learning is most important thing. Learning various different arts, sciences, and also more importantly, acquisition of virtues. The learning capabilities of everyone will not be the same, but everybody must strive to acquire the virtues, the etiquettes, manners, moral and ethical values. And they form the backbone of this stage, because this stage is kind of a foundation. What we learn and acquire in this young age, on that foundation, the whole edifice of the life to come is going to stand. And you can imagine, if this foundation is weak, flimsy, brittle, what will that edifice, what will happen to it? It is therefore important that this time should be used for that. There should not be thought of monetary, that acquisition of wealth or going after money. There is time for that later. But now focus on that. And the reason for that is the learning capabilities are more sharp when at a younger age. As one becomes old, the brain kind of gets dried up. Difficult to make new synapses. Therefore, you will find as people go in, the age advances, they are rooted in the old thoughts only, because new thoughts do not find an easy entry. Learning is very, very difficult. Many people of my age, therefore, are not, well versed with the modern technologies, all these, how to use your phone or how to use what kind of watch they call. Huh? So it is, yeah. So all that, I don't know how to use it. So I take help of somebody else, because I find it difficult to learn all those things now. Mm. But the children, you will see, they use it so nicely, and they are, just give a phone and they know everything about it. They use those words, uh, like this game and that thing, and all those are like Greek to me. They find it so, they do it very well. So, like our Adi Maharaj, I call him, hey, please look, and he very quickly does it. Uh, so, why? Because at the younger age, that faculty is strong, learning. To try to teach at an old age, things do not get properly understood. So that is why this age is important for that. Then there is the age called householder stage. First was called brahmacharya ashrama. The word ashrama means a discipline suitable for that stage. Every stage has a discipline characteristic to that stage. So that learner's stage is called brahmacharya ashrama. Then comes at that one has to practice more control of the senses, should not run after pleasures. Because when you run after pleasures, your learning capabilities, they do not get much scope. So therefore, this is the time when you keep your all such desires for physical or mental enjoyments in check. So then comes when you will give some free rein to that, with the understanding of responsibility. In childhood, you don't have that responsibility. Your learning age, your responsibility is to learn properly. Spend time in learning, time, energy, all that. And the other, your livelihood and such things will be taken care of by your parents and guardians like that. You don't have to worry about them. But now uh, you have to earn money, you have to fulfill your desires, you have to contribute to the society monetarily, and so that stage comes. You have a household, you have a family, and all that. That is the householder's stage. But you should there also think about the ultimate goal of life. And therefore, don't get too entangled into the multiplicity. Don't get attached. Don't think that they are mine. We get, that is the best way not to get entangled. We say, this is I and this is mine. Is it really mine? Think about it. You say, this is my house. Uh, but the cockroaches and other creatures living there, they also call it my house. Whose house it is? Imagine, It is actually nobody's house. There is nothing that in the world that you can call as mine. It is the most untrue thing in the world, that this is mine. The body is also not mine. It doesn't always obey me. Otherwise, why will it fall sick? I never told it to become sick. It is. So, these are all things that are to be understood, that they are not mine. Then, after discharging your family duties, a time comes. Now you have to start extricating from these bondages. That, oh, you now have, come on, some social security. You don't have to spend time in running after making more money. You have fulfilled your obligations as family. Yes, I have taken care of my children while they needed the care, and so now let me withdraw myself. That is figuratively called the stage of forest living. Means from this society now you move in a forest, so to say. The idea is extricate yourself from the social obligations. And the fourth is the stage where you give up everything and take to monastic life. Now, here the stages, various stages are told, and it is actually being told to a householder, the king Yudhishthira, by the sage Narada. That is the story. Narada is telling Yudhishthira. So, the householder stage is given more predominance in this narration. So, we saw last time that one has to uh, keep up one's duties in the householder stage, and one must guard against these deceptions. Means you have to conduct your life in a particular manner. Now there are the deceptions. Certain other duties appear to be your duties. Certain things that you should not do, they appear to be things that you have to do. So this is paradharma, right for someone else, not at your stage. It is not for you. It is good for somebody else and not for you. Like there is, suppose somebody is, say, uh, a doctor for ENT. Now that doctor is expert in his field, so should treat cases there and should not go to do the orthopedic surgeries. That is not your field. It is different. So one must be very careful about what one's duty is. Uh, then vidharma, that action is not exactly somebody else's dharma, but you don't have to do it because that will obstruct your practice. Whatever you are prescribed to do, it will obstruct your practice. Like these students who have come today, our these students, and there's Ashutosh, and they have to uh, invest more time properly in studies. There are other things that they need not, invest their time. Not that those things are bad, they are quite good. But if they indulge too much in it, their studies will get hampered. Their main thing that they have come there to do, that will get hampered, and therefore they must take care of that. Then there is the upadharma, that they should observe that uh, in with in details as well as in spirit. And that should be in letter and spirit, as they say. That not only letter, okay, I did, but the spirit is gone in that. Not like that. It should be done sincerely. Then, when the desires become very prominent, but the scriptures say that no, you should not do it, then you distort the scriptures. Hmm. Like one king, he he took up to the what is called the Vaishnava life. He agreed that he subscribed to that. I will be a Vaishnava, follow that discipline which involves being a completely vegetarian. So, but that king wanted to eat fish. Now that he liked fish. So now what to do? So he employed some scholars, that you see how the scriptures can be distorted by getting some different meanings from them, and thus it will say that the fish can be eaten. So, and they found something, that okay, this from this context we can change it to that context, and thus they declared that these 5 types of fish are okay, they are as good as vegetarian. So then that king, and then what about the other fish? So then others are some that uh, way out was found out, that okay, if you cook it in this way, all will be fine. So the king ultimately started eating all the fish. Now this is intentional distortion of scriptures, and that will retard our progress to the goal, and perversion and disregarding the spiritual injunctions altogether. I will lead my own life as I want. I won't care for any scriptural advice. Uh, it is many get that somewhat angry, irritated disposition because of various reasons. One feels I am master of myself. I will do whatever I want. I don't want to be bound by these scriptures or these injunctions. I will do whatever I want. This is perversion. So, this is how it happens. Now, another very, very psychologically tremendous importance, a tremendously important point is discussed here, that while observing these disciplines, one must know that these are for one's own good, one's own growth, one's own march towards the goal. And so, that discipline is to be discharged with the contentment and happiness. It should not be something that is burdened on you. It should not be oh, this discipline means I have been tied with it. No, a discipline means tying, It's a path. When you are, say, driving on a road, if you have to have that, the boundaries of that road, you cannot leave those boundaries, otherwise you will fall in a ditch. So one must be happily doing it, and not because, oh, that fellow told, oh no, that my church told, not like that, but happily. One must be happy. Got it, Pushpin? Yeah, one should conduct those all those disciplines in a happy manner, because the psychologically what happens is, wherever our happiness lies, we go there. Mm. So one must see that our happiness, contentment should lie in following this discipline. Mm. So, because that is making me progress, one must therefore have the idea of the goal. And therefore, it is important that these stages have been told. What happens is that one feels an emotional upsurge that I can become a monk just like that. Why should I go through all these steps? I told you that incident last time, and that I was in the fourth grade, and so I had been put under that discipline that you must come back at home. This is, and my cousin was doing PhD. So he didn't have that discipline. So I used to get perturbed at my parents. Why you put tell me to that I must come back home at this hour? See, he comes at whatever time he chooses. You don't say anything to him. You don't know he is doing PhD, and you are struggling at the fourth grade itself. And I told my parents, I want to do PhD. I don't want to do this fourth grade studies. Hey, how can you do PhD? If you try to do PhD now, whatever chances you have of clearing the fourth grade and going to fifth, they also will be dashed. So that is why one should be happy about it. That yes, I am progressing at my stage. Do not try to jump to other stage without proper qualification. There are some agreed who can take so-called double promotions. And they are very capable, super intelligent people. They are, say, maybe 0.1%. All others, 99.9%, will have to follow this their given track. And as they follow the given track, you see, you gradually climb the steps. The ashrama arrangement gives a graded course to inculcate renunciation. Like you are climbing, when will the climbing end? When you reach the summit, the topmost floor, then climbing will end. But if you think that, okay, let me jump straight, you will just fall down. You are not capable of jumping so many steps at a time. So, therefore, it is important that we follow the disciplines and gradually go. And we can be at any stage. this religion helps us. Like that story of that Zen master story I tell, I like that story. That one man who was his student, one morning came back all badly bruised. The master, what happened? There were other students also there. What happened? Oh, last that night I was playing poker with my friends, and then I was cheating. Those fellows found it out. When they found it, they gave me a nice beating and ultimately pushed threw me out from the window. That is how this is. I have become like this. What is your advice to me? Now the wise teacher told him that I will play on the ground floor if I were you. The other students, they say, why did you not tell him stop playing? He is not capable of that. He is not capable of that. One has to give the advice to be given that advice that the person is capable of. So, uh, this is the point is that, yes, okay, now you do like this. Gradually, you will develop to the next stage, then to the next stage. If you say, "Hey, but how this in the young age, how this person has given up everything and has taken to monastic life? Well, the explanations are given for that in various ways, that he has completed these stages in his past birth already, and so therefore has understood the uh, vanity in all the sensual pursuits. He doesn't need to go through all those things. So uh, it is the graded course, it is, most people find even this graded course difficult. It is not easy. Even that graded course requires lot of efforts, strenuous, intensive efforts, so that one can go to the next step, because we get stuck on the step that we are. Some people, they go to do a course, say attain a bachelor's degree, but cannot complete it, find it difficult to study, other interests take over, and instead of 4 years, then they have to take 5 years or 6 years. So it is uh, because one gets stuck on a step. Step is not to build home there. Step is to give it up and climb higher. So it is due to attachment. They don't want to leave this step. Cling on to it. But if you cling on to it, you will suffer. So it is described here that how one has to use. This is a very beautiful chariot analogy from Kathopanishad that is quoted here. That use your a traveler is going through this chariot. Now there is a charioteer, the driver. The driver is told, you can think of, going to some place in taxi. Mm. Now, you tell the taxi driver this is the destination. And then the taxi driver must know how to drive, first of all. If the taxi driver doesn't know driving, you are not safe there. Or he may know the driving but doesn't know the directions, doesn't have a GPS or whatever, so you may end up somewhere else. So it is, or many other things can happen. So the driver, who is the driver? Our intellect, discernment, that is what is right and what is not right. That is the driver. Mm. that should guide using the reins of the horse. In the car example, you can say you are controlling tools there like brake, transmission system, your indicators, steering wheel. They are controlling mechanisms. None of them provide force. Force comes from the engine. The power comes from the engine. But these are what gives direction. So our discernment principle, that where we can discern right and not right. And now the charioteer or driver should go by what is right. Mm. And that is how one should govern the power. The power is indicated by the horse. That is what is actually providing. But that horse would have the tendency to go to eat grass. So the horse has to be kept on the road with by the expert charioteer. So that is our mind should be used by the intellect, and the intellect and mind should control the senses. Thus, the journey will reach the destination, and then we reach ultimately the goal. One can gradually attain the strength to renounce by going methodically through the four ashramas. Like you automatically renounce your childhood toys, isn't it? Uh, those all those dolls that you might have been playing. John, did you play with dolls in your childhood? Hmm? You didn't play. Oh, you are very special. You were a very special child. Most little girls, they play with dolls. So, but then they renounce it. Okay, done with the dolls. Where is your Barbie or whatever these new models of dolls? Where thrown away, given to somebody, gone. You renounce it because you outgrow it. So, you outgrow multiplicity by seeing that it is all contained, like this whole universe. Whole universe. Isn't it contained in your eye, in your brain? That is where it is, in that everything is being actually perceived right there. It is contained in that. It is all one. So, uh, this is the way gradually one sees that there is no duality, no multiplicity, and comes to the one without second. All the three stages, Bhava Advaita, Kriya Advaita, and Dravya Advaita. Advaita means non duality. They are included in that. Uh, and it says, then you will see it is just three levels of just dream. There is the waking state dream, and this state is also actually dream, because it changes. This stage, waking stage, when you dream, this stage becomes unreal. When you are dreaming, when you are awake, that dream becomes unreal. So it is, if you see, all are called by scripture as unreal like dream. And so you then realize the non-dual reality. And after teaching this secret to Yudhishthira, Narada gives his own example that how he got distracted and thus didn't do what he was supposed to do, and thus he was cursed to become, a lower category person, as it was made to suffer a lot, then became later on gradually climbed to the stage of a sage, a greatly honored sage, great saint. Each of us has that capability. We are all potentially saints. That is why it is told there. So, we shall conclude today's discussion with this closing verse. After that, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them or type them. Nigamakkalpatarurgalitam phalam शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुर्हो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. O devotees, quaff to intoxication this nectar of the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of the great sage Shuka and mixed with the ambrosia from his words. Any questions? Any question here? Oh, this Raji has a question. Wow, she usually doesn't have questions. What happened today?
Pranam Maharaj.
Pranam.
So you said the brahmacharya stage is important because the learning capability is high at a younger age. Then what is the logic of keeping the monastic stage at the sannyasa ashrama at the end? Then how will the old person do his meditation or spiritual disciplines?
A good, very good question. Why the ultimate renunciation stage is kept at the end? Because at least at the end you should get there through experience. In the sannyasa stage, therefore, this that giving up everything because it is all unreal. You see that these are all fake notes. That is why we get cheated in the world. So therefore, by getting experience, if you can learn that even at the first stage, then you don't have to go through all these stages. But as I mentioned, there are very rarely such people who can get that. This book, I didn't go into that details, describes that if one did not acquire these things and decides to go to become a monastic, all the latent tendencies of enjoyment, they will bring that fellow down again. So, therefore, it is told, make sure, go through various these stages. As you go through these stages, you will, it all depends on your first stage of brahmacharya. You should practice virtue, get all these things. Then, based on that, when you lead a householder's life of acquisition, maintaining family, and all that, now you know, because one does not learn just by reading books or reasoning. One learns more by experience. And when one goes to experience, then you see, I went to get so many pleasures in this world. But what I got, in the name of pleasure, I got suffering. So now your mind is that having that power of experience. Through the experience now, you know that there is no truth in it. You cannot be cheated anymore. Yeah. Yeah, that is. Oh, the battery is gone.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, oh, it is there. Yeah.
But how about the power of concentration or the
What you have developed in the brahmacharya time, that will come to your help at that time. Yeah. Any other question? Any question upstairs on the web?
Yes. One web question from Beverly Collins.
Hi, Beverly.
Is the fourth state the same as samadhi?
No, samadhi is the stage of getting established in non-duality. Getting into the fourth stage will facilitate it, but it is not same as that. Okay, so let us conclude with the closing song. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल। कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल।